Welcome, Valpo fans, to this year's first edition of the Valpo Coaches Show, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. I'm Aaron Levitt. Joining me today is the head coach of the Valpo soccer program, John Marovich. Coach Marovich, thanks for being here.
Oh, always excited to see you. It's the greatest time of year right now.
Well, your girls have been back on campus for about 3 weeks now. First weekend of the regular season in the books. But let's go back to the preseason. Uh, Kind of a mixed group. You got about half and half returnees and newcomers this year on your squad. Those newcomers, some of them freshmen, some of them transfers. How's the process been in the preseason trying to blend those two groups together on the field?
It's been great. We had the opportunity to spend, 4 or 5 days together in a dorm where the older kids were living with some of the freshmen to really create that sense of relationship early on. So we got to spend 4 or 5 days doing that. I think it was valuable. And then we've done a lot of fun things off the pitch. We hit some golf balls over at Net Par, which was super fun. We went bowling. We've had taco night at our house, which is karaoke night, which also leads into spike ball and bags. And so I think that part of preseason has been really, really fantastic. And then just getting them on the training ground and getting them to start to learn one another and how we want to play and learn what the identity of this group is. So I think preseason has been really, really great. I think the kids have been awesome through it, and I've certainly enjoyed that time as well.
You mentioned learning about the identity of the group. What have you learned through the first 3 weeks or so that you've had them?
Yeah, we've learned that we have a lot of kids that can do a lot of different things, which I think gives us a lot of flexibility. And I think that even just shows, even just in the exhibition and in the first two regular season games, that depending on what a game might need, we've got players that can come in and play a pretty specific role for us. And then I think they have a great personality. There's a lot of, again, we had a road trip, right? First weekend, gone for 4 days, a lot of time together, a lot of time to get to know one another. And now there's a lot more of that camaraderie between the players and the coaches and the coaches and the players to the players. So I just feel like there's a lot of that good connectivity happening, but that also leads onto the field, right? Some players are going to be really good at pressing. Other players are going to be really good at winning, a head ball when you have to kind of sit in a little bit. So I just think there's what we've learned so far is we have a lot of players that can do a lot of different things. Now the challenge is moving forward, just to kind of putting that all together and finding this group to develop that chemistry of playing with one another. Because it's, as you know, in any sport, how do you communicate? How are you understanding where somebody is? If you don't know them, right, it just takes time to develop those kinds of relationships on the pitch. But that's happening. And so it's an exciting time for sure.
We've had 270 minutes of action so far. The exhibition win at DePaul, tough luck 2-1 loss on a late PK at Detroit, come back with a 1-1 draw at Oakland. On the field, in the over the course of those 3 games, what have you seen from your team that you like, and maybe some things where you're focusing on in training? Hey, we need to get sharper here.
Yeah, well, I think, regardless of where the results are, I think when you look at the overall performance from a defensive standpoint, it's been really, really good. Again, we're doing with a lot of younger players who maybe don't have as many experiences, but there are some that have some experiences and they've leveraged that with the group. And so seeing out the game at DePaul, I thought that was a great way for us to kind of finish the preseason. We've got to stay away from making really aggressive plays in maybe not the best spots inside the 18 or at the top of the 18. The goals we've given away have all been either a PK or that one set piece. So in the run of play, our group has done a really good job of limiting opportunities and again, creating that opportunity for us to go forward. And that's where the next challenge for us is. As we've started to learn that identity defensively, how we're going to build, it takes 11 people to be all kind of functioning right at the same wavelength, if you will, on what's the need and the requirement in this situation. If that situation changes, how do you transition to the next phase? And so that's where they're learning and growing every day. And so I think you started to see that a little bit in that second half against Oakland, where that a bit more of a high pressing scenario really turned into us being able to kind of have a good bit of play in that half. And so now it's like, okay, what does this run mean? What kind of service do we get into the box? How do we want to break down that group that's now really in behind the ball in a more of a low block. So all of those are great opportunities for us to learn from. And that's what the non-conference season is to learn in all of those moments and see how you're going to respond and how you're going to create the attack. So it's really that attacking piece, that finishing piece that is really next up for us. But I've been really encouraged by what that group has done overall defensively.
The penalty kick at Oakland, you guys scored by Molly O'Rear. And for those of you who haven't read it, Paul Oren did a fantastic story on Molly's journey and what she's overcome to be on the field playing this year. And just what does it mean for you as a coach to have kind of been on that journey with her and watched everything she's had to overcome to see her as a senior back on the field scoring a goal that first weekend?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I'm just happy that Molly as a person is in a good space, that she's healthy and she's ready to be able to be a soccer player. But at the core, I mean, she's a footballer. That's what she is, right? She loves the game. She loves to be out there and compete. So I'm super happy for her. I'm excited for her. I'm so proud of her on how she managed herself through all of that and used the resources that she had available to her. And she got herself around some really great people to help her make those decisions and get herself into this space. So just really excited for her. And I know that she really values the university, her experience. She values this program. She values the people that she's around. And that's what, I'm the most proud of. The soccer part for her is something that's kind of second nature. She's going to get back into that. She's going to find that rhythm. She got the PK. Emma Parasco's created that with really good attacking play and getting into the box. So, Molly helps kind of create that moment, but then finishes off with the PK, and it was certainly well deserved and well taken. So, it's just a lot of pride, honestly, and a lot of, gratification to see somebody that goes through something to really kind of rise above and do it in the right way has been really enjoyable to watch.
You've got one weekend in the books on the road. Now you get to sleep in your own bed for a while. Three straight home games coming up. First of which this coming Sunday, 1 p.m. at Brown Field. Purdue Fort Wayne comes to town. Then next Thursday at 7 p.m. against Eastern Illinois. Then the following Sunday, 1 p.m. against Wright State. Just what are you looking for out of this kind of group of three games where you don't have to worry about riding a bus for 5 hours or where are we eating on the road where you can kind of focus more on the field stuff.
Well, the good thing about this week is we don't have a Thursday game, so we have a full week in preparation. And you probably hear coaches talk about that all the time, but I think it's a really important week for us in terms of our continued growth and development of understanding one another and how we want to play on Sunday. And then you have the quick turnaround where you have a Thursday, Sunday. But I think those, what we're looking for is just that continued progression. We saw that in a response, in going down a goal at Detroit for us to get a goal back. It saw us bounce back from the difficult PK on Thursday into putting ourselves again in another position to potentially get a result on Sunday. That's a resiliency that teams have to go through and work through. And I think they've done a really good job of that. So we want to continue to see that kind of growth into each match and continue to find different parts of our identity. We're not just going to be one thing. I think we have the ability to be multiple things and have different identities in different parts of the field. And that's what we have to continue to let happen organically and not force anything. Let the players play, let them show their resolve, and then see where those spaces are for us to really find a unique part of our program and our players so that we can leverage that to be a better team.
We hope to see everyone out at Brown Field over the course of the next week and a half. Coach Marovich, thanks for joining me today and good luck over these next few games.
Happy to be a part and look forward to seeing y'all out there at Brown Field and go Valpo.
Till next time, this has been the Valpo Coaches Show brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.